What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken Ross Present the Gear I Said a podcast. We're expressing our full capabilities to they might want us in correctional facilities, and I have to believe they ain't paying close attention, but ain't necessarily a bad thing. Brain out of my child, I be dad half of this operation. Ross Cooper coming to you live and in public, if you will. As always, I am rocking with the what? Rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folks.
You're crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure much. Yeah, I'm good. What's good, everybody? Was having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good shit, all that good stuff. If you watching on the platforms, please share with your friends, your family, pets, dog, bug on the wall, the aliens outside, garbage man, all that good stuff. And if you watching on the tube, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Because if you don't, you might get deported.
Something told me you was gonna go there. Something told me you was gonna go there. The notion of that is just so odd. So hey, I was born in the United States of America, as were you. Usually that means you're a citizen. Deportation is typically reserved for those who were not born on American soil. I will continuously emphasize the three Ks in America. That's the proper spelling. That's the proper spelling. But hey, we may as well jump right into it. Earlier today, White House Secretary said the idea was floated of deporting really repeat violent offenders from the country. Now, stop me if you're at least 35. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Sounds dangerously close to the three strike law. Um, on paper, and this is something I'm learning. A lot of folk don't do any kind of deep dive research on shit because on paper, again, doesn't that sound good? Like, you know what? Instead of jail, if you're a repeat violent offender, we're just gonna get you out the country. What you gonna do? We're gonna get you out the country. We're gonna get you on out of here. You're a threat. You're a security risk. You're a safety hazard, and you can't play nice with others, and you shouldn't be in our wonderful country. Sounds good, doesn't it?
No.
I mean, and then you could just somebody could probably try to chin check me. I've already said jail doesn't work. If jail don't work, and say you're feeling kind of stabby, and
Go
you
to Europe.
continuously
Perfect place for Stabby.
and you continuously feeling stabby, we're just gonna kick you out the country. My poor mag hats, my poor MAGA people. Here's the problem. Very few people, I believe, and I don't have the stats right now, but I can tell you from based on the things I do know, I can go out on a limb here and say this. Very few people have a natural inclination to violence. The thing that you and I have talked about on this show since this show is what? Most things could be cured if you got rid of poverty. So the question we want to ask ourselves, but we don't because it kills the illusion, kills the delusion, actually, is hey, if everybody had enough, would there still be such violence?
It will still be violence, but maybe not as much.
Really?
I mean, that's in our nature. So certain things will never disappear, no matter what your status is. So, but it would be a lot less, but not.
Um,
It wouldn't just disappear because we're not evolved yet where we don't have that, and that has nothing to like being violent. Unfortunately, for the most part, doesn't really have anything to do with class. That's just what we are, and then depending on your genetic makeup and how your brain functions, can determine if you're more violent than others, and that has nothing to do with you know uh, where you were raised.
I was just about to say, like, I would now, I am going to go on a limb here. If everybody had enough, and just for those, hey, who might be tuning in just now, let me clarify. When I say enough, I mean the basics: food, shelter, um, life purpose. just enough. If everybody had enough, the only remaining violence would be those who actually have a mental health disorder, which steps into the other issue in this country. There's a lot of issues. Mental health disorders mask themselves in a lot of ways. But if everybody had a place to live, enough food to eat, let me back it up. I'm sorry, a safe place to live. That's important. A safe place to live, enough food to eat, just enough.
How much is enough?
You literally what I just mentioned. Hey, I'm hungry. I can go in the fridge and there's food there. Hey, I want to sleep in today. I have somewhere with that has a bed to sleep in today. Hey, I'm really thirsty. I can drink water that doesn't have impurities. You see the basics. Because and here's the thing. How spoiled are we that most people listening to this right now, you and I included, are going to say, well, that's not saying much. That's not enough. It's amazing how many people don't have these things in a country that can absolutely afford to make that happen. So when you consider most violent crime is the result, directly or indirectly, of poverty, aka the highest level of not having enough. If everybody had enough, you don't have the violent people that were born here that you want to quote unquote threaten with deportation. That is just the weirdest. That is just conceptually the weirdest thing. That's like, you have original people here, the Native Americans. I still hate using that term because we know where Native Americans come from. Um, that's like, forgetting that this is their land. It's laughable when you hear people of European descent. Well, if you don't like it, go home. Um, who's gonna tell them? If I don't like it, go home. But you, right? And it's just the baseline of knowledge. And I'm going a little bit off tangent here. The baseline of knowledge is amazing to me because it's like the problem I have having when you want to have a discussion. I am open to discussion with just about anyone. And what I'm finding is most people's problem is their baseline of knowledge is so missing key points. I got into it with somebody. I didn't get into it. I just left a comment with somebody online. I had a comment that said, okay, I think we had talked before. What percentage of law enforcement do you think is crooked? And I had a couple people hop out. Well, it's pretty low because a lot of people they do stuff and da. And if you just listen to what you're being told, I'm dead ass, yo, dead ass. I said, okay, how am I gonna do this? I said, okay, this is patently false. There is plenty of video evidence and empirical data. If you don't want to believe the video, the FBI stats will show you how disproportionately black and brown people are affected by law enforcement. I said, but you're entitled to your opinion, though. But it's
You
just
already know
just
the count of
amazing.
bags. It's how many people.
But like and it's just it blows my mind. It's literally people still walking around here who will see someone being beat down by the cops. Like, well, what do they do? You just gotta comply. Mind numbing. And it's like those are sadly the people. There's double sad. It's sad because those are the people I can't really have a conversation with but so much because I'm like, your baseline is already off. You're walking to the situation with this goofy notion that anytime you see in a videotape somebody getting their ass whipped by the cops, they should have just complied. Like, seriously, like stop. But this is how certain things are allowed to proliferate. So on the surface, I can see where certain people think, you know what, you're right. Jail doesn't work. They're still violent. Get them out of here. That's just like cap. That's just super illegal for one. And I know legality is loose with this administration, real loose. My bad. Go ahead. Yeah, and I'm just like, you can't, yeah, you can't play loosey goosey with what's legal and what's not, and you can't just be like, yeah, ship them to a whole nother country. Because I'm like, if I'm shipped to another country, what rights do I still have? What
Right.
jurisdiction? What jurisdiction am I under? Am I still quote unquote an American? Have you stripped my citizenship? Like what? This is a real slippery slope.
Probably. I mean, what rights do you have when you're a convicted felon?
Um, you still have all your rights except for a couple. You cannot vote, obviously. Depending on what you're convicted on, you cannot be around other felons. If you're convicted of certain crimes, you can't be around schools and children, but that's another matter. Like you cannot possess firearms. So you still have all your rights with a couple exceptions.
Dude. But you're still owned by the state.
Yeah, not really. Because that once you're all quote unquote off papers, like if you on parole or on probation, yeah, you still
Yeah, but that's what this is. If you're on quote unquote your third strike, you're technically already property. So if they just ship you away, it's just, history repeating itself.
true. Problem with the statement you just made is I'm not even reading third strike. I saw repeat violent offender.
I
That
just,
means
I'm just saying, I
see, I can't trust what I'm looking at though, because see, you and I typically have some form of sense. If you hear repeat violent offender, you thinking in terms of somebody that got a little stabby a few times. Cool. No, in theory, repeat violent offender could be. Let me tell you how scary this can get real quick. So, if you are a senior in high school and you get into a fight, that is a violent offense. If you know, go out somewhere and get into another fight, that is another violent offense. On paper, you are not a repeat violent offender. Now, you ain't did shit. You ain't did nothing. Any drunk frat boy ain't dead. But we know how this is going to slant. So that's where the slope gets slippery. Like, yeah, I say repeat violent offender as in, yo, you just shot up the block. That's a problem. that's a problem. That's a violent offense. But you know how this country move. You know who's going to be aimed at. And I'm like, look, let's be all the way funky with it. If you want to start deporting the illegals and screw up the certain economies because you want to get rid of the help and the cheap labor, that labor's got to be replaced. You can't convince me these idiots don't realize the impact that getting rid of the landscapers, the gardeners, the everything else, our Latino brothers and sisters that was putting in honest work. They just weren't on paper, but they was out here working, getting paid like everybody else. You can't tell me these idiots aren't aware of the waves and ripples that causes. Hi, Florida. When you try to institute child labor laws, hello, Florida. And yeah, so they know what's up. And this is just another cute way to try to send people, um, poor people who can't afford good legal representation, to what essentially amounts to work camps. Now, one of the things we wanted to talk about too is there were did you go to any of the protests over the weekend last weekend?
No.
Me neither. One or two, but given my proximity to people that are connected to the government directly, I gotta be real careful on certain things. Um, but no, there were massive, massive protests all over the country, all over. My issue is not the protest. My issue is, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm just saying what is what's the ask here?
Hey,
What are we doing?
want to be heard? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not saying protesting is a complete waste of time, but for this subject, if you want to make a statement, you have to hit the pockets. That's the only way. Just walking around picket signs saying you're upset or something ain't doing a damn thing. I'm sorry. You gotta have more things that actually make a difference.
I oh gosh, I will tell you this. Presuming everything that happened in November was on the up and up. We're gonna put that as the bottom line here. Presuming everything that happened in November was on the up and up, right? There's nothing you can do to change that. What you can do though,
Yes, you can. We're not gonna do it. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not sure, and I will give you the chance to explain what you mean, but it like you this is in certain ways, the only time I can think of where we've seen something like this is 1860. This is, look, we're trying to keep the union together here because if anything I just mentioned is false, then we have a serious problem. If November wasn't really November and that wasn't a real election, then we have a problem because all of this shit can fall apart. And you can't have the whole thing fall apart.
So with that,
Not really. Because it ain't enough of us with bunkers, ain't enough of us with the ability to grow food. So you can't have it all come undone. So you gotta try to fix it.
yeah,
Bruh, just okay, cool. Let's play for a second. What do you think happens if it comes out concretely November was a joke? You think they just politely gonna step out and say, "Oh, our bad, Kamala, you got it. You can come take your chair now." Like,
no,
what do you think happens?
I don't even know. It can either go the whole thing collapses like you said, or people
I'm
just
going home.
mad, or people just mad, protest, but everything remains the same. It's one or the other two.
Oh no. It all, believe me, it all comes unglued. It all comes undone. Remember, we talked about this. There's a thread, there's a notion that most people are clinging to that, okay, they won this time, we'll come back and win next time. And where I was going with that was what you were talking about the protest. No, there's nothing you can do about the ass hat and chief. There's nothing you can do about that. However, midterms are coming up. That's where the protest is. That's where the protest has effect. Because if you sitting in Pennsylvania Avenue, you ain't going nowhere for the next 4 years. You straight. But if you're not sitting in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and you were a congressperson, you ain't straight. And if you intend to sit in that seat beyond the next 2 years, oh, you see these protests. You hear the pains. You hear the people and just, hey, man, that ain't me. That's Trump. That's not going to fly. That is not going to fly. And it will be the world's easiest campaign to run. Because honestly, if I'm trying to be a senator right now, if I'm trying to be a member of Congress, I'm just keeping note of how everybody's voting and who said what. And come, what's this, 25? Come 2026, when them seats is up, I'm just gonna pull up the receipts. Old boy sat by and said did nothing when Trump ran roughshod over everything. Why would you vote him in again? You need to vote for me. So the protests are not going to do anything per se about the asshat chief, but the protests are to put the Congress people on notice. If you just sitting on your hands through all this BS, are we getting you out of here? We getting you out of here.
That I'm not. I don't care. Um, yeah. What was the main subject? I'm sorry.
You killing me, yo.
Bad
No,
condition.
we're talking about the protests going on, and where I
Huh.
was going was the effectiveness of said protest. I'm with you. My concern, and I was gonna say we need more strategizing because honestly, my initial thought was I'm with you. Y'all doing all this protesting, y'all standing in the streets with signs, but what's done is done.
Right.
And- but then, like I said, as I was thinking about that, it goes back to what I just mentioned. It ain't for Trump. It's for Congress. It's for the people sitting on their hands or the people co-signing this bullshit. Like, look, in 2 years, your seats are up. So either we start taking a look and seeing what you're doing to stop this nonsense, or guess what? You out of here.
2 years is a long time. A lot can happen. So it might not even matter by that time. To be honest, the way it's looking. But um, yeah. I said the blackout seemed more effective and a better idea than just walking the streets and protest, in my opinion. But I've always been saying that if you want to make a real change, you want to do something quickly and somewhat painless and bloodless, you just affect the pockets and literally
So
do the thing that everyone wants to do but can't do. Nothing. Just do nothing.
this is true. You can't make me spend my money.
You can't. Like if the majority of the population, like I said, is it really power to people or is that an illusion too? But if the people have the power that we all say we do, you have the power to say no. The government cannot force you to go to your job and spend money on shit. That's just something you do. So if everyone said no, this is it. Like office, the whole government, we need a clean sweep. Get out of here. Until that happens, no one's spending a dime. What do you think they're gonna do? Like the government be like, well, we're not leaving. Well, you're not gonna be making no money, and this whole thing gonna collapse anyway. So,
Right.
and then it wouldn't matter who's in charge; it's every man for himself. So, yeah, the threat of this collapse, and you now no longer have control over the sheep, or you do what we want. But I know that's not gonna happen because we too divided, and I know that's part of the plan. But yeah, that's why I said protest is cool. I'm glad y'all can get together for that. Let's get together and do the blackout stuff like stuff that actually matters. I'm sorry. It's cute now. The protest is cute. I understand it, but realistically, unfiltered version, like we need to do more than just that. I mean, that's not doing anything. They're just looking at you and laughing. So yeah,
Um, I gotta use my Canadian voice. Two things can be true. I think you're correct, but I think the protest sends a message because you can't, and this especially, I think it sends a message. Now, how big a message is up to debate, but it lets the MAGA idiots know, oh no, people are pissed off. What I also found interesting, and this could just be an accident or a media thing, what I found interesting is the large amount of the shots I saw of the protesters did not look like me and you. That's where it gets interesting. That's where it gets interesting. That's where you might get a lot of John Browns out of there. You might find some John Browns in that crowd. Because I'm like the sentiment, and for those who don't know, the sentiment amongst black folk, especially among black women, is like, you know what, y'all got it. This is what y'all wanted, right? We're gonna sit this one out. So it's different when it's us out there and it's BLM and it's a dead kid from law enforcement. Whatever. That's them. But when the crowds are largely white and we done sat this thing out, okay, now it's time to be a little more concerned. If you're a politician, it's time to be a little more concerned. Because, let's be real, when it's us out there who don't care. But when it's the people who legit voted for you or will be voting, oh, you might want to. And let's be all the way funky with it. Let's not think that all politicians are altruistic at all. Because, and that's the thing, the conversation no one wants to have, and I get it. Like you said, there's more pressing things, but let's be all the way funky with it. Things wouldn't be exponentially better had the results in November went the other way. It just wouldn't be as bad. It'd be politics as usual. And sadly, be mad at me if you want to. I think Kamala wins. There's a lot more black folk going back to sleep. A lot more black folk going back to sleep like they did during the Obama years. What does that mean? That means, again, said it before. I will say it again. Always say the marching orders for people of color, for black people in this country has not changed. But now I say it's got a hell of a lot more urgent. You better figure out who your people are. You better figure out who got the blickies. You better figure out who got, munitions, who got supplies. Not saying shit is going to devolve to that point, but it does not hurt to know. Does
Probably
not does not hurt to know.
we're heading in that direction. So yeah.
I mean, it's not denial on my part. It's me saying if you get there, you've officially reached the point of no return, and we're on the final chapter of America.
Great reset. I mean, we about to have another great recession. I mean, that's already happened. But hey,
Hmm?
I mean, who knows? Great Depression 2.0.
Can't afford it. I mean, the workman can't afford it. But here's the stupid thing now. That's the other thing I keep seeing just across social media and so on and so forth. There are still never underestimate the power of the knife. There are still these MAGA morons saying, well, it's a terrorist, so on and so forth. Don't worry, it's just gonna be rough for a little while.
It's already been rough. You got dogs, but yeah.
Like y'all didn't learn. You didn't learn. You went with this stupid ass idea of, hey, I'll suffer a little. With the stupid idea of I'll suffer a little if those folks suffer a lot. That didn't pan out for you. So now you're okay saying, you know what? It's gonna be bad for a little while, but it's gonna get better for America.
Hope so.
Dog. And I guess I need to stop because my thought process is you can't be this stupid, can you? You can't be this stupid. Yes, you can. You can. You can and you are.
Yeah.
You can, you are. And it's just like I said, the best thing, circle back. I'm going to see how many weeks consecutive I'm going to have to say this. The fact that you all are willing cuckolds for Trump is just a scary thought. Just a scary thought. Like no, 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 no. It's okay if he does A, B, and C to my wife because it's for the greater good. That's how y'all sound right now. That's literally how y'all sound. No, it's okay, honey. It's all right. It'll be over soon. That's how y'all sound. Like everything y'all claim to stand for all comes off as bullshit at this point. It really does. And it just, yeah, that's how y'all sound. Apparently though, it looks like, but well, let me to finish off what we are just talking about. I think the protest needs to be multifaceted. I think you're right though. An economic protest is in order. A physical protest is in order. Nothing that people taking to the streets with the signs. That's not going to rattle anybody in the White House because they're there for 4 years. What that is intended to do, I believe, is to rattle Congress people because they see their seats ain't safe. Their seats aren't safe. And under the guise that we actually have another election, no, it's really gonna be an easy flip for Congress. It's really gonna be an easy flip. So we go from the fire to the frying pan with Democrats. So from the fire to the frying pan. Ooh, frying pan don't feel so bad when you've been in the fire.
Burning.
But you're burning slowly.
That's worse. Just get it over with. I'm not just what's a slow, painful death?
See, when we go from 100 degrees to 80 degrees, still hot, but it ain't 100.
Okay, if we talking weather, sure, but if I'm getting flame boiled, just put the inferno on, so I'm going immediately.
Well, I'm just saying. So if you sit in a pool, or you sit in a pool and it's 100 degrees, you boiling, you turn that puppy down to 80 degrees, you ain't boiling no more. Don't feel as bad. It's
I'm not,
sad.
I'm not trying to be slow roasted, my guy.
It's sad when you got to make that. When you have to make that analogy about American politics, you know stuff is bad. Yeah, you know stuff is bad. Um, but apparently, it appears, and I'm checking. It appears Trump may have one fan, and ironically, like what? There's a clip I found, Minister Louis Farrakhan of all people, stating that Trump dislikes the things that dislikes us, and I'm like, I usually 99% of the time rock with Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I cannot agree. Not in this case. I cannot agree. And the base of the clip is like, the American media has done us no favors.
True,
Government has done black people no real favors.
true.
But
But he messed up when he said yep, Trump doesn't align with that for totally different reasons, my brother.
right.
Like, I think that's the like context needs to be used. Yes, is he against them? Sure, I guess on the surface, but realistically, it's a wink, wink. But yeah, the details, the devil in the details, and he should know about devils, especially white ones. But um, and not everyone is like that. His claim. Um, yeah, the devil is in the details. So yeah, sure, is he against that? I guess if you want to say service level, but it's for totally different reasons. It's all about power. Ain't got nothing to do with our black asses. I promise you, he don't care. Promise you. This is all selfish. Let's see what I can get away with. How much more power can I get while I'm here? Because, stuff that he said before he got in office. And credit to him in a weird, sick way. He's kind of doing it in the span of a few months. That's why I said 2 years is a long time. And he's already doing some poking, blurring the lines that was already blurred. So now we can barely see him. So now, in 2 years, all those people's jobs in Congress, you say it's not safe. It might not be safe anyway because we might not even need them anymore. And that's a crazy thought.
I just and this is see, here's the inherent issue about Trump. There is genuine opportunity here to rewrite and change things. Okay. Here's what I mean. On the surface, on the surface, and you can say, and if we're going to be real honest, we can say it. On the surface, he's not wrong. There are tons of systems within this government that are wasteful, that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's people that's been in the government collecting a check literally 10, 15 years past retirement age just because why not? Right? There's a point there, legit point there. Where it goes off the rails is you're not doing this to catch waste and make things more efficient. You're doing it to catch waste, make things more efficient, and reroute the money back to your own damn pockets. Or break these things up so you can give private contracts to your buddies. So, in theory, he has a point. Things could run more efficiently. I'm sure if we dug a little deeper, we'd find out a whole bunch of folk in government office been taking bribes, I mean lobbyists, money, and getting bought and paid off to vote a certain way.
Look that
So
up
in
now.
that regard, Donald J. Trump is actually accurate.
And then there comes the context.
Right. Because the problem is, like I said, you're not finding ways to make things more efficient. You're finding ways to make things more efficient to somehow privatize and route that money back to your own effing pockets.
Or Israel.
That's
That too. So yeah, I mean, so yes. Trump is doing everything he said he would do. Go figure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm like, that's the weird part about watching these MAGA morons sit here and cheer and yeah, those government workers, they're lazy. Da, da, da. Listen, fam, hold on. The deficit, the US deficit is in the trillions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not going
Letting all these
away.
federal workers go doesn't make a dent in that.
Not even a little bit.
And even if it did, even if it slashed the deficit by 50%,
Not going to you.
right, how much of that do you think is coming back to your pocket?
Going back to you, buddy. So yeah, hey, clap it up for the system, man. They up what, 1,000 to 0? Yep. So how many years
Right.
has the country been alive? How many elections have we had? I don't know. Let's say 400 to 0. 400 to 0, no. Putting up Jordan, Will, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Phelps, all types of numbers. They the greatest competitors of all time because they just go uncontested.
Yeah.
Shout out to America, man. The greatest competitor of all time.
America, exactly. Been unleveling the playing field since 1776, boy. Unlevel playing field since 1776. Let's go.
Agent Smith moment, man. I really am starting to admire this how this all works in a sick way. And that's kind of sad because I despise it and hate it, but in a weird way, I respect it. And because it's like there's no way it should work, but it does. And they don't even have to do much. It's a self-sustaining thing.
It really is. It really is.
It's like, wow. Whoever invented this, man, they was a genius.
Adam Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Capitalism is Adam Smith's brainchild.
He was a genius.
I don't think in his wildest dreams thought it would work like this.
Propaganda, desire, fear,
I
sprinkle
mean,
oil in it with no special ingredients, everything, sugar and spice. There you go.
it's wild. You literally got people, and it's just God. And I always say, I say it again. I love your generation because y'all starting to call out some of the BS. Because this notion of you work hard, you be successful. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. That's an absolute lie. More of your labor does not equate to success. It does not.
Usually the
I
opposite.
could I could work 3 times as hard as Ivanka Trump. I will never have the advantage. She's a woman. She's blonde. She's white. Her dad is Donald. She got a free pass to Wharton. Not saying she didn't have to earn that, but who knows? Like me working harder does not equate to that level of success.
You to 1%? No. Because the 1% didn't work hard. Let's be
Ding
keep
ding 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 ding.
like, they work smart and
It's
take
that.
advantage of people who like to work hard. That's how
Uh-huh.
the game is rigged, my brothers and
Like I
sisters.
said,
So yeah.
if life were like bodybuilding, this would be true. Look, you put your time in the gym, you eat certain things, you work out, the work pays off. You
Right.
can see the difference between a guy who ate the chicken breast and the broccoli versus the dude who had a couple Burger King cheat meals.
Yeah.
God,
Not how life works.
right. That's absolutely not how this whole thing works. It's wild. Um, all right. So shifting gears slightly, I am notoriously not part of the iPhone cult. I'm just no, I don't need to be part of the cult. But this was interesting. And it makes you look at Apple a certain way. So, and I'm getting this right off of this is coming from Gadgets Now, coming from India, ironically. Apple transported 5 planes full of iPhones and other products from India to the US in just 3 days during the final week of March. A senior Indian officials confirmed to the Times of India the urgent shipments were made to avoid a new 10% reciprocal tariff imposed by guess who? That took effect on April 5th. Sources said that Apple currently has no plans to increase retail prices in India or other markets despite the tariffs. All right, so what they pretty much did is say, hey, we're gonna ship a crap ton of iPhones to the US to avoid this tariff nonsense. And the funny thing is, it's an interesting move because they didn't have to. Your iPhone cult people gonna pay what it costs no matter what. When the iPhone go up to 2 grand, y'all still gonna put it on a payment plan. Oh, that's only extra $79 a month for the next 3.5 years. Cool. It moves super fast and take great pictures. And I can look at somebody's nostrils better when we FaceTime.
That's a fact. That's told that. I never thought Apple would start moving like oh man, what's his name? Pablo. Yeah, that's
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, Pablo Escobar will be proud.
right.
Instead of bricks, it's iPhones.
Hey,
Like, but you know, all BS aside, I gotta give it up to Apple. I'm shocked that they did that because it's like again, you're not gonna take but so much of a hit. If somebody need an iPhone, they're gonna get an iPhone. That's just what it is. But
that
yeah,
might be different because it's a recession now. But yeah, certain people still gonna do it no matter what. So yeah, you right.
so yeah, on the Trump front, and it's like I'm hoping next week we don't have to start this show and spend a half hour talking about the entirety of new nonsense that is happening coming out of DC. The other thing that I did find surprising, and I guess I should have known better, but listen, when Trump is pretty much trying to line his and his constituents' pockets, that's to be expected. You know, it's not a racially or not a racial thing. It's a class thing, like we all talked about, right? But lately, you cannot help but notice, no, there's still a racial edge here. Because I promise you, if we start deep diving into who was let go by the federal government, a good chunk of them look like you and I. Out of all the things going on, why are you wasting resources to dig up Black Lives Matter Plaza? Then you scrub the Tuskegee Airmen. Now there's other things in the African American History Museum that you want to get rid of. Now we're talking about getting rid of the Martin Luther King monument. Like,
Hey,
you know,
hey,
what was that?
when well, I didn't hear that. Get rid of Martin Luther King.
I think it
But
was either trying to close it down or long as I'll dig for it. But it's just a lot of stuff being aimed at black people.
trying to wipe away our history. I mean, he tried to do that with Jackie Robinson, and his. So yeah, I mean, can't complain about something or bring up the past if it didn't exist.
Like what was Black Lives Matter doing to you, dog?
Talking
What was in
about
that street there doing to you?
organization, or we talking about the movie? Which one?
I'm talking about the street.
I don't
You
know.
spent all this damn money to tear it up. Like literally, you could have just paved over if that was the case. But even beyond that, what does having Black Lives Matter on the freaking pavement do to you? How does
Ain't it?
like what is the,
I I ain't got the answer, Sway. You ain't got the answer, Sway. We just here. I can't even. Good.
I'm like, look, if you want to do something across the board, I hate you for it, but it's across the board. But you are particularly aiming policy at black folk. And this kind of flies in the face of all the MAGA idiots. Like, Donald Trump's not racist. Really? Because
Stop it.
this don't put no money in pockets. This don't level no playing field. But you want to use government dollars to tear up Black Lives Matter Plaza, Black Lives Matter Avenue. Just ignore it. It ain't hurt nobody. But it does let you know how what really goes on in that pea-sized brain of his. Like, did you lose a girl to a brother at some point, bro? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I out of all the shit you could be doing, this, but okay, all right, all right. Just seems like a waste, but then a lot of it is a waste. A lot of it is a waste. Oh, and I think I told you about it, but I didn't send it to you. I meant to send it to you. I told you about that wild part of how ultimately old boy Elon wants everybody to live on Mars. Like, what? Okay, so real quick for the viewers and listeners, every now and again the YouTube rabbit hole gets weird, right? YouTube rabbit hole gets weird. So saw a special and it said, how long would it take you to die on each planet? I'm like, huh?
Oh, I seen that too. Wow. Algorithms. I didn't watch it. I wanted to, but I didn't watch
So it really broke down like, hey, if you landed on Venus, if you landed on Mercury, how long would you last? Right? It was fascinating. Like, shout out to them. It was actually fascinating. Because,
it.
I think this Jupiter's a gas giant. It was gas.
You going
You
down?
know, they said you'd actually have a better chance. You'd actually stay alive longer if you landed on one of Jupiter's moons. But anywho, at the end of all of this, they went through every planet, and at the end of it, there was like, and Elon Musk has a plan to get us in this pit. So long and short, after watching how long you last, whatever, both on every planet, this was bookended by explaining from how Elon wants us to live on Mars. And that's kind of what the SpaceX is about. And they can possibly grow plants and because Earth is unsustainable. So let me get this straight. This is the Batman. This is the Batman effect. So you got billions of dollars, limitless resources. You could just solve poverty in Gotham, but nope. Instead, you want to put on a suit and beat the hell out of people. Got it. So you are literally the richest man on the planet. And instead of fixing the planet, you want to invest resources and time in getting people to another planet. I you just gotta wonder what goes on in the minds of certain white men. I some of it is admirable, some of it is absolutely admirable to ask the question and say, hey, I wonder what happens if. And we got another case, we got an instance of that coming up. We got an instance of that we're going to talk about in a moment. What happens if? Because the concept of Jurassic Park, conceptually, like, hey, I wonder if we could, we got the DNA, we could make a T-Rex. All right. But why don't you just fix this shit that's going on right here? It seems like such a more viable option. Why would you unleash something that could potentially kill a lot of people on society? Like,
Overpopulated. There you
which is
go.
another fallacy. Absolutely not.
We are overpopulated, but we bought. Hey, we brought the dinosaurs back. Oh my God, they escaped. Oh no. Oh, they wiped out half of humanity. Yeah.
I mean, the good news is dinosaurs are dumb. Like, we're gonna go down that rabbit hole. Dinosaurs are dumb. You're not gonna.
Okay.
Truth be told, okay. Worst case scenario. Let's play the game. If Jurassic Park existed, like hypothetically, if you brought back dinosaurs on Hawaii. Okay, that just means you don't go to Hawaii anymore.
I go, what?
You don't go to Hawaii anymore. Where's that?
You know some of
If
them
you,
can fly, right?
you can shoot them down. Like this isn't like worst, absolute worst case scenario. If it actually happened, dinosaurs would not kill us. That's that's not gonna do us in. If Jurassic Park were real, it's still a park. You still keep them contained. You're not gonna wipe out humanity from bringing back a couple dinosaurs. You're just not.
Well, not a couple.
Right?
Man, they escape, mass produce, like it was back in the day when they had the numbers too. We cannot coincide with dinosaurs now.
But we wouldn't have the problem. We just make them extinct again.
How?
Because the Stegosaurus has got all the armor plate in the world, but it's not going to do anything. It's a 50 cal.
But if it's millions or hundreds of thousands of them and they're everywhere, and then you gotta worry about all the other giant. Like I think we underestimate how big and powerful they are.
Think
Like
you
we have
understand how
problems.
big?
Like people
Think
die
you?
every day just from normal size animals now. So if you think we got a chance against a dinosaur, sure. You think of it. I'm saying I'm not saying just a little parking, this is the fuel. Yeah, it's not a problem. Yes, I agree. But I'm saying if they brought it back and it just got rampant, they got out of control, they just start mass producing. Like now it's millions of them.
You're not
That's
going
a
to get this.
problem. People
I
die
mean,
from damn spiders now. What you think gonna happen for a fucking dinosaur, a T-Rex walking down your street? Some raptors who are smart. So it's like, yeah, like nah, I ain't got
it's
for a dinosaur.
bro, it's the megalodon theory. As Mendeleev proved, you can't have a megalodon actually in existence still. You know why? Because there's not enough food sources.
I mean,
Same thing here.
they're good food source.
There's not enough food sources to feed dinosaurs.
There's who? We
Um,
still exist. It's 10 million. It's 10 billion people. That's a great food source to be. I'm just saying. Yum yum.
sir, when we're still at the top of the food chain, for better or worse, to the top of the food chain.
You said there's
We
no food.
simply we simply just make them go extinct again.
How? Without damaging the environment.
Easy.
If
Armor
they're
plates.
rampant.
The armor plates on a Stegosaurus are pretty awesome.
Yeah, but
They
let's
do
say
nothing
there's
against a 50. They do nothing against a 50 cal.
okay, there's a million of them. Then what?
It's not going to get that far.
Why not? I just said if it went rampant. I'm not talking about
It's,
if it's more. I'm
it's
saying
not going to go
if it's
rampant.
literally the dinosaurs that return, like they are back, 100%, not just a few. Like their population is back. All of them. We are cooked. Now they probably couldn't survive anyway because the oxygen level. But let's just say theoretical. This is all.
Right.
But hey, theoretically, they just came back full force somehow. You know, the Avengers level. You know, Doctor Strange portals. They just all walked in this mother. All different parts of the world. All we are
In
cooked.
in a year, they'd be all gone because you don't have the food source.
We have 10 billion food sources.
Bro, there are not 10 billion people on this planet.
Okay, you know, fine, nine. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm off by a bit.
Okay. Actually, more like seven, I believe.
No, we're at nine. Or eight and a half to be specific, I think, but we're at nine.
Yeah, but that's everything. Like, okay, now I hate to go on this rabbit hole. A 5-year-old human is not even a cupcake to a dinosaur. So yeah, like we're not a good food source. Like what I'm getting at here is we're not a good food source
Why not? It's an all you can
because
eat appetizer, man.
not to mention that's only for land and air creatures. There were sea dinosaurs. We not hopping into water.
There's still plenty of life in there. I mean, orcas won't be the big bag anymore.
That's funny. That's funny.
Orcas might have a real rifle now.
That is funny.
Blue whales and sperm whales. Actually, no, sperm whales might have a problem too now. They ain't gonna be Debo no more. They get hey, tuck your fin, man.
Did you say not tuck the fin? Really?
Tuck your fin with a megalodon head. Yeah, a great white look like a Bentley to next to it. Price of 300 of a shark.
That's insane. That is insane.
I mean, it's
Oh,
obvious. It ain't gonna happen every time. Don't worry about it. But it's funny that we really might have a Jurassic Park in our lifetime. Wow, technology.
no. But and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Honestly, on a grand scale of things, if you bring back a dinosaur or two, that doesn't freak me out anywhere near when I don't know if you remember this because we talked about it, but it was a couple years ago when they said they found viruses or they thawed out viruses and bacteria from the permafrost. That's a problem.
Oh yeah, I already
That's
said it. Hey, the thing.
like, look, a dinosaur is a dinosaur. Don't go near the dinosaur. We okay. You start releasing diseases and viruses from permafrost. All right, now so what we gonna get? Night of the Living Dead? We gonna get Walking Dead? We gonna get what we getting here?
Gonna have some
That's a
ancient
problem.
virus and some curses. Yeah, hey,
Right. We
but
gonna get the thing? Like no. No, 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 and
hey,
no.
no, they already doing it. So hey, we gonna find out. Like maybe that's why they're saying that another global pandemic is going to happen. Maybe that's why. That'd be crazy. Ah,
So shifting gears, because we actually gotta kind of come back here, but I don't want to just gloss over the next topic. Carmelo Anthony. No, not that Carmelo Anthony. Say 17-year-old brother by the name of Carmelo Anthony here in Frisco, Texas, which is about 45 minutes to an hour from where I'm at. And I can tell you from being here, this is getting very, very this is being aggravated. So what we have is a high school black student who has stabbed and killed tragically a white student. Um, Details are sketchy. He is saying it is self-defense. I think the problem we're having here, from what I can tell, is it is morphing into something racial. And
warping. We already there. We been there. It was a race war the second that happened. Sorry.
there's been what gets me about this is I thought, and this is my problem, but I thought we'd evolved a little bit further beyond this.
Why? What the hell? What have you? And you've been checked out completely. Why?
Because it's people we I done seen white folks posting it probably yes, white folks posting all kind of shit. I done seen white folks posting cropped pictures. So it's like what gets me is do you not understand that y'all not the only ones with Photoshop or with cameras that can modify pictures? Do you not understand how it makes y'all look? So there's a picture that was floating around of Carmelo standing there holding a gun. Cool. Cropped picture. The rest of the picture shows him standing there with three other white kids, all doing goof shit. And I'm like, you didn't think that was gonna be found?
So if it's a
Mhm.
narrative, yeah, they don't care. No one cares. It's just the
Saw
internet. Hmm?
saw a troubling post. Some white girl posted how, good for him. That all the things you'd expect from undercover or overcover Klan MAGA white races, right? Here's the problem. Your profile is public. So under said post, it took about half hour till somebody posted her address.
That'd be the funniest part. That's the funny part.
And I'm just like, not gonna lie, 10 years ago, I might have cheered for that. But from a standpoint of this don't do nothing to bring any of us closer together, like it is just amazing to me that in a nutshell, a good chunk of the BS that happens in this country is because the South lost the Civil War. Get the fuck. over it. I'm real good on mitigating and monitoring my language, but it's just no way the other way to say this one. Could you please, on all things holy, get the entire fuck over it?
No, y'all didn't get over y'all stuff. We not getting over ours.
Because it's like I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think most white people stuck in that mindset understand if you can get past that, then we can actually deal with some real issues.
That is an issue.
No, it's not. You lost. Black people are free. You can't enslave us. We're equal. We're on equal footing. That's how the law's written.
I don't like it.
Like, get over it. Your
Yeah,
founding fathers were racist. You built your entire empire on free labor.
yeah.
Get over yourselves, okay? Your law enforcement, your boys in blue, slave catchers. Get the fuck over it.
Oh, they still do this. I ain't changed. But yeah, why? That's what MAGA is about. Make America great again.
And that's the greatest joke of all because it was never great. White people have never been independently great in this country. It is all anything that they can point to that resembles greatness is the result of exploitation of another group. You dirty, unwashed masses got kicked out of Europe to get here to begin with. Let us not go look at history. You want to erase history? Let's not erase that, shall we? Who were you? You're descendants of dirt. Like, stop playing with us. But not to get off topic, it's just get over yourselves.
Period. God said so.
As it stands, the tab is way overdue for what's owed to black people here. Way overdue. As a betting man, I suspect those reparations won't get here until my imaginary grandchildren are elderly.
Existence.
So,
We gonna have to let that one go. That, yeah, it's not happening.
what do you mean let it go? It's a debt that hasn't been paid.
And okay, has the U.S. been good about paying debts?
Bars.
So, you expecting that's
Bars.
like saying your homeboy, like I mean it's clearly different circumstances, but you got a homeboy, you expected them to pay you back, but you know they don't pay nothing back. They in full of debt everywhere. They about to lose everything. And you think they'll give you back your $100? No.
You're right. You're right.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't even pay back. They can't pay back. They owe debts. What makes you think they're gonna pay us? They don't even want to do it too. On top of it, so it's like, yeah, like, nah. We need. I'm not saying to get over because we're not old. I'm saying we gotta get over because it's not happening.
Okay. Okay.
We are old that shit, but yeah, I mean, you see how they treat. You know how good we are with money. You know, we print the shit that still don't make sense to me, but you know, I'm sure someone smart will make some bullshit excuse. But go ahead.
So where I was going was the suspect, Karmelo Anthony, has actually been charged with murder one. I was not aware of that. I didn't know it was murder one.
Mm.
So if you know anything about Texas and the out amazing willingness Texas has to execute people, I, family of staff teen speaks out. He didn't deserve it. So here's what I'm going to say. I've been taking in a lot of information from everywhere, every source. Again, I'm about an hour away. Um, what's being what's happening is Carmelo is being painted as this monster in the media and on social media, and the stabbing victim are there being painted as, good old American white, good old all American boys. Anybody that's not white knows exactly what that means. There's plenty of photos of those two. They were twins. Plenty of photos of those two online holding guns, so on and so forth, but no one's attempting to smear their characters. So what we have here is the usual black smear campaign. And what we also have here is trying to make the victims look very angelic and all American and clean cut.
Yeah.
Please do not misinterpret me. This is not me being insensitive to the loss of life. It is never a good thing to have this kind of loss of life. And just in general, being stabbed, I think that should probably hurt quite a bit. So, no, that was not cool at all. He's being charged with murder one. What's being said, though, is this is actually self defense. We will have to wait until the trial and all the facts come out. Um, this case is being tried in media, social media, and again, Carmelo is being painted to be a monster. But plenty of others have come out and said, no, this was a provoked attack and bullying. And there's been record of him being bullied. What gets me is it is 2025 and we still doing this. And it's just, I'm seeing it is clearly divided right down. It is 95% clearly divided down racial lines. What I did find surprising is there were a number of black folk that just bought into the thug mentality, bought into the, oh, he's a young thug, da da da. And I'm like, wow. All right, Uncle Ruckus. All right, Uncle and Auntie Ruckus. Okay, I see you. But it's just disappointing and
No
depressing.
relation.
And it's like, dog, it's 2025. We still doing this?
Yes,
We
it's
still
never
doing
going to
this?
end. Yes, I'm done. At this
So
point, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'll make it quick. I circle back to my initial point. So y'all, in a nutshell, y'all still not over it. Dear mainstream white America, you still not over it. You lost the Civil War and you still salty. And you kept all the ideals and the nonsense in place. So again, when you couldn't legally own us, then it was Jim Crow, then it was black codes, then it was segregation, then it was lynching, like then it's mass and like you never really got over it until 65 with the civil rights. And even then you're not over it because you didn't just happen to dump drugs and you didn't dump drugs in Beverly Hills, you dumped in Oakland. So I beg of you, white America, get the fuck over it. Please. It's not you take that, hold that L and just okay, because we could go so much further together. That's the funny part. That's the funny part. We could all go so much further together. But y'all can't get over the fact that y'all took that L in 1860 fucking five.
Not just that, but part of it. So racism is racist. It's part of our species at this point. What can you do?
Like literally, just, bruh, just when you Google this or if you look at this online, just look at the comments and it is just white person after white person just jump right out there. Thug, he's a killer. You can tell.
Not just them, but yeah.
Oh, but it's overwhelmingly that. Because if it was kind of divided, I'd say it was kind of divided. It is overwhelmingly white folks just jumping out there all bold.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying they got help too. But yeah, uh, Fortunately, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just see two extreme sides. So I'm waiting on the truth to make a real judgment on the case. But yeah, it is nasty some of the stuff I see, but it was expected. So yeah. See, hopefully the truth comes out, whatever it is.
$1 billion bond. I'm shocked she got a bond on a murder one trial.
You say billion?
No, million.
I'm about to. I mean, that's still a lot, but $1 billion bond. At that point, you might as well just say you send it.
Um, the other thing, and for anyone listening, please, please, please go check out Dr. Stacy Patton. She wrote an amazing article in reference to this and just point out a lot of things because at the crux of it, again, you still have a loss of life. But the fact that so many racial overtones have been injected into this is really like either it's got something to do with it or it doesn't. Is there racial animus there? Maybe, maybe. I've been to Frisco. I've been in North Texas. It, it's, let's just say it's some subtle shit, and it's a couple school districts up there that have had some lawsuits when it comes to racial issues. So it's not. I think it was Allen. It's not out of scope, but I'm just again, pardon me for being a little mind blown, dog. The Civil War was over in 1865. The civil rights went into effect in 1965. We are 60 some odd years. We still doing this. And you laugh to keep from crying because it's sad. Because look, we should be analyzing this as tragically, you had two young people who got into a confrontation and one of them is no longer here. But we got to deal with the racial overtones and nonsense and the just absolute nastiness of people online with this. Like, it just lets me know, and this is going to sound really upsetting to certain people, but other folks going to know exactly what I mean. You got to be real careful when you vet which white people you trust. Because you never know if the N word is right underneath the surface. Now, I can say, and I am fortunate, I can count on more than two hands white folks that I know that I've come across that are solid, that are allies for sure. But you gotta be real careful because I'm just amazed at how many folks are still carrying around these dated, age-old stereotypes and still consider black folks their friends. And those two things don't match. They do not match at all. You can't do the whole, oh, some of my best friends are alive. You can't do that, but then in the next breath, well, you should have just complied. Can't do that.
Well, you can. He's the good one.
You're right.
It
You're right.
was really easy. Like I mastered the art of stupid. So hey,
Wow.
calm it down.
So I'm keep my eyes on this because I'm just curious, but it is if people ain't careful, there's gonna be repercussions involved. And I'm thinking one deceased high school student is enough. And I'm not even kidding right now. One deceased high school student is enough. I don't understand why you put yourself in the line of an ass whooping over something you ain't got nothing to do with. Pretend it's the 70s and 80s and keep your racist remarks offline because people are doxing you. Like that was the part that was wild. Lady jumped out there, said something off the wall. He was an animal, he was a monster, some shit like that. And post was public. And about a half hour later, oh, she lives in such and such and such. Like it's not a game, and shit is too highly sensitive to be playing like that. But you willing to die on that hill, and that might not be hyperbole. You willing to die on the hill of this young brother was a thug and he a killer. You ain't never met him. You don't know him. And now you might have folks coming to your doorstep because it's something goofy that ain't got shit to do with you. That's why. Mm. I don't know, man. That's just it's at some point I'll stop being surprised.
So you
But I just thought we're a little further along.
don't know what gave you that impression.
Like, come on, dog. And like I said, the bigger lesson here that I always circle back to, we'd be so much better together. So much better together.
Obviously, but that ain't gonna happen. Not unless you got like a common enemy or something.
I thought there was one in Pennsylvania Avenue. Oh, my bad.
No, that's not a common enemy. I mean, something outside of human common enemy.
Okay. All right. So circling back to kind of where we started a minute ago, and I'm just curious your actual opinion on this. Um, Dire wolves, it was a species of wolf, and it died out 12 and a half thousand years ago. It is the first successfully de-extincted animal. I'm taking this right off CNN.com. But wow. So they created three dire wolf pups using ancient DNA, cloning, and gene editing technology to alter the genes of a gray wolf, which the prehistoric dire wolf's closest living relative. So pretty much gray wolves are like dire wolf's closest cousins. It's a hybrid species that's pretty much a dire wolf. Um, they were larger than gray wolves, and see, and I think that's one of those animals that people underestimate the size of.
Oh, they
Gray
big as
wolf,
hell.
yeah, wolves are they're not German shepherds.
They're not huskies. Husky, like I said, I know everybody's seen that picture of a husky next to an actual wolf. It's levels to it.
No, an actual wolf is like,
It's,
oh yeah.
it's a big.
I didn't know. Wolves are like big as shit. Like, oh,
Yeah, I didn't know that
they're,
either.
they're,
I thought, I figured they were a little bigger than huskies, but nah, it's a big
nah, they
difference.
big. They big, big.
It's a big difference. And huskies
So
just,
for those who watched it, dire wolf is if you watch Game of Thrones, you'd recognize it.
yep.
At some point, I gotta watch it. It just for me, it was white people, and just murder,
Uh,
pillaging, and cool. So
it's
I just never watched it. But yeah, they so this is interesting though. They've been working on bringing back the woolly mammoth, the dodo, and the Tasmanian tiger. Um, that's not good. Like the dodo, cool. The mammoth, that I don't. Yeah, and then the Tasmanian tiger. All right, so a tiger is the biggest cat that there is already. You want to bring back one from back in the day? See, I don't mind bringing back something that ain't gonna kill you potentially. I don't think dire wolf is gonna kill you.
what? A wolf will kill you. Wait, okay, he lost me there. If he said a dodo, sure. A woolly mammoth could definitely kill you because elephants, we all know they ready with the smoke. So yeah, all the
But
animals that could kill you, except maybe the dodo.
but it's a wolf, which means it's still a dog. It's a canine. You can and you got it as a puppy. You can pet it. You can play with them. Like try because I really don't think you want to bring something like that back in its full wild capacity. I hope you have an idea to possibly domesticate it in some respect. Because other than that, you just brought back a predator. Brought back a predator.
Pretty much. I mean, you want to domesticate a tiger or the woolly mammoth?
No, you're not going to domesticate. No, that's the problem.
So yeah, I don't think it was the plan to domesticate it, just to see. Like, cause I mean, there are some people that got pet wolves, but that ain't smart.
No, it's not. It's not.
Pet tigers,
Right
that
on.
ain't smart. All it takes is one mistake and one time it's like, you know what? You smell kind of good. It's a little hot outside too. I don't know. Mm, sounds
Stupid,
like
y'all.
dinner. Mm. But yeah, nah, I don't see the purpose for this. Like unless you
Let's see
just
if you can
flex.
do it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Is like just flex. Like you know what? We already played God, so we just gonna bring back some stuff from the dead. Next thing you know, they're gonna start bringing back dead people. Man, nah, I don't know. See, you got that look. See, T virus is on the way, man. T virus is on the way.
No, because I'm thinking. I mean, now see, this is what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking in some sinister ways here. What if you can bring back Brother Malik Al-Shabazz? What if you can bring back Fred Hampton?
I'm bringing back no black people. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you? What? They killed them for a reason. Yeah, I'm gonna bring them back. They bring back Alexander the Great or something before that. Like, what are we talking? George Washington is probably coming back before them. Like, no, I had to be some like black scientist pure stuff. Like, yeah, but them, hell no. If they gonna bring people back, it ain't gonna be nobody black.
Okay, so what do you so this is we just stumble into this one accidentally. You think somebody would have the wild hair up their ass and try to bring back Hitler? Bring back old Adolf?
It might be top 10.
Yeah. No.
This climate,
No.
he might be
No.
top 10, man.
No, there's no. I think worst case scenario. See, you probably don't remember this because obviously you weren't alive. This would be the Serpentor experiment. So anyone as my age or roughly a little bit older, lower, a little bit older or younger, is going to remember GI Joe Serpentor when Dr. Mindbender went and collected the DNA of all of the greatest leaders, Genghis Khan and this, that, and that person, put it together in a vat and created the greatest leader to replace Cobra Commander. That opened the door for Serpentor. So technically, it was a joke in a cartoon in '89. You could actually pull that off now,
I
quite
doubt.
possibly.
Oh, well. There are things we don't understand about life, and certain things that we're not being told the full truth about life, and reality, and all that, and consciousness and souls and all that. So I don't know how that would be possible, but I don't got all the answers to life. So I maybe it is possible, and we just don't know. I don't know. I'm just here. I won't know until I die, and then I can't tell you after that. So yeah. Um. So if they start really bringing back people somehow, I think we're gonna have a whole nother question that everyone's gonna have. It ain't gonna be a celebrating thing. It's gonna be like, how the did we do that? Like, what is
I
life?
mean,
At that point, I'm just gonna start having existential crisis. Whatever that how you say it.
well, you
I'm gonna
never
think,
know. Might be some clones walking amongst us already, my guy.
oh, it probably definitely is. They already talking about cloning people. That was years ago. So if they can bring back something that's extinct, I'm sure they're a clone. I mean, look at Gucci Man, man. Saying,
Yeah.
but no,
That,
I
that
think
is
they've
that is
been cloning people. I ain't like that's probably like they probably been doing that for a minute. But bring someone back from the dead, I, without resuscitating it. Yeah, I don't know.
mm.
But my pay grade. But I would like to know though.
Well, they like I said, they brought back the wolf, so this will be interesting to see how these cubs grow up.
Yeah, but it's not people. I mean, you mixed it with a gray wolf, so you had it's not just pure them. It's still mixed with the gray wolf, but yeah. It's a hybrid.
Now, I mean, it did make me want to watch Game of Thrones. Like, oh wow, there's a wolf from Game of Thrones. Okay, cool.
Yeah, big ass wolf. Bigger than the wolves we know. I'm good on that.
As
Big.
long as you brought back one, wolves typically move in packs. As long as you
Brought
brought
back
back just
three.
one,
Didn't you say three?
I thought it was one. I hope it's one. Oh boy, yeah. Apparently, it's more than one.
Right, they move in
Yeah,
packs, so
you're
why
right.
would you bring one?
There's three. Okay, now you're just doing doofy shit. Like, why would you? We're gonna bring back a mini pack. Like, what?
Hey, the Adam and Eve of wolves, man.
So who gonna be the I mean, somebody gotta be the out for the pack. You better do something because they get together and figure it out. Like, yo, it's just us. See, humans. Still mad about something that happened 160 years ago, and now bringing back packs of animals that can kill you. Although I will take that, as I said, that's cool. It's an animal. You can shoot it, it can die. You thawing out viruses from permafrost? No. That could end all mankind. That's just not smart.
Or here.
Man, listen. See. All right, let's
You
get to
made this
the
argument before, and I said, nah. I said, hey, we should pump the brakes on those explore some because some stuff needs to be untouched. But nah, so now you
no,
panicking.
no, 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 hold on. I agree with you. My thing is this: explore, just don't touch the shit. Everyone look, but don't touch.
You know, people say the sign don't touch, and everyone's going to be more impelled to touch. That's just psychology.
See, I done seen one too many sci-fi movies. I've seen the thing numerous times. Like, hey, we digging on a permafrost and see some. Yo, I think that's a virus from the Stone Age. Wow, I think we should leave that there. See how easy that was? See how easy that was.
But then the scientist, where's your
I kind of
medical
like
mind?
living. Like we're gonna leave this right where it is, because you never know what might kill us.
I mean, we already doing a great job of that anyway. So what's the harm? So we can just search it, and maybe we might find some miracle virus. I mean, a miracle drug. You can be immortal or something, or get superpowers. I don't know.
Famous last words. What could possibly go wrong? Right.
It's true.
Whatever, yeah. Like that. Nope. So again, I do salute the natural, what seems to be the natural curiosity of white folk. Because
I know.
yeah,
Because like you just said, you can't spawn some shit that didn't need to be spawned.
bro, like think about it. Without the natural curiosity of white folk, do you know how many things we actually wouldn't know? Because I
Like what?
just don't feel the need to go in a submersible in the ocean. I'm cool. That's the water. I can't breathe in it. I'm straight. All I need to know. But no, our white counter scientific counterparts definitely want to explore. I salute you. I appreciate the things that have been found out. Because if it was left up to me, yeah. What's in the ocean, Dr. Cooper? Water and shit that'll kill you. Thanks for coming out.
I mean, it don't take rocket science to know that. You know, people been killed in the ocean. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Like
You,
I think it's best that we stay and maintain on land. That's my thought. How'd you get a PhD? By staying alive by not going in the ocean and staying alive long enough to get one. That's how. That's how. But again,
scientific.
salute to the natural curiosity. Salute to the natural curiosity. All right, rounding it up here. So college basketball is now over. Me personally, I stopped caring a few days ago. Uh, I did see on the women's side, I did not see the South Carolina beatdown coming. Like, yikes, they got washed.
That big three, I watched the whole thing. At first, I thought it was gonna be close, and then yeah,
Right.
the big three just. Oh God. They couldn't even
And Paige,
score.
see, I'm happy Paige went out and got hers. I'm aggravated and agitated that Cooper Flag got jerked out of his, but here we are.
They choked. We choked that game.
Choked, or did that call on Cooper Flag go the wrong way at the absolute most wrong time?
Oh, that
Oh,
was a bad call, but that wasn't. We was choking over before that. You were up by what 7-8 with like what 30, 20 seconds, and we couldn't inbound the ball. like I'm sorry, you got like a 6, 7, 8 point lead with a like what 30 under a minute. You shouldn't lose that game. That should just be a free throw shooting contest.
it should. Funny
And we
things happen,
still
the refs get involved.
well they got involved in that one play. Cooper had a shot, missed that. We couldn't inbound the ball, turnovers. They started scoring. I mean, choke.
Okay, we're not going to use choke word, but that's okay. That's totally okay. That's okay.
We're never
I
gonna
really wish
choke.
Cooper was going to come back, but I'm pretty sure he's not.
I hope not. Go.
Get your lick back. Why would you not come?
Get
Okay.
your money. That's your lick back.
They ain't broke. Need I remind you, they ain't broke no more.
Never said that, but there's a few $1 million and then there's a few hundreds of millions of dollars. There's a big
You ain't
difference.
going to get that on a rookie deal?
I'm not saying
But
go now so you get it sooner. And you don't have to worry about getting hurt in college because you just seen how people were just torn their ACLs. Like, why risk it? And then mess up your draft stock. For what? Go. So if you get
I
hurt in the
mean,
league, you're already there. So you still have a chance. But if you get hurt before you get there, now everybody's like, I don't know.
the good news is legacy, 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 legacy. The Boozer twins, sons of Carlos Boozer, national champion of Duke, are coming to Duke as well. So they'll reload it. They'll reload it. I'm curious to see what South Carolina on the women's side does because they got washed in that title game. Did not see that coming at all. They got washed. And it wasn't even Paige Becker dropping a 40 piece. It was just
Big breeze.
collectively.
Big breeze.
And I know that ain't gonna sit well with Dawn. The Philly and her ain't gonna allow it. I know that ain't gonna sit well. So I'm curious to see how they reload. Yeesh, that was ugly. That was ugly. And then on the NBA side, it's just about playoff time. Um, the Lakers put everybody on notice because they just blew Oklahoma City all the way out. Now, honestly, as much as I want to be happy, I think it's just a
It's an anomaly. Must be.
yeah.
Like, we were
Anybody
hitting
can get caught.
everything.
Um, I think though this is that game. That game, Lakers versus OKC, was the reason why team shoot as many threes as they do. Because the reality situation is, look, if the three's falling, it's a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
Any team, if the three's falling, ain't really much you can do.
Agreed.
It just probably is most times three ain't falling.
Exactly.
Like three ain't falling. Like Boston better chill because you not. I think they take the most threes in the league, and it's like, listen,
They took the most threes
it's
ever. It's not just an ever. They
so. Like I said, when they fall, it's great, but when you missing them, yeah, you can get buried quick. And then when you down 15, you're gonna be inclined to take more threes, and yeah, got it. But it's and then I like the Lakers' chances because Denver and Memphis just fired their coach. Like, damn, dog, how you? It ain't as bad as getting fired on your day off, but how you get fired? Like, no, won't even mind you, they're both playoff teams.
yeah.
Like, no, we don't even want you to go to the playoffs. You cool, you good.
Yeah. Denver's
Like,
crazy.
figure you might want to stop your job. Might want to start your job search early, so we're gonna let you go now.
Which is crazy.
Totally crazy. Denver just won the damn title.
2 years ago, but yeah. I
How you
mean
win the title?
the GM should have been fired, but I don't think the coach is, but who knows? I don't know what happened
Why,
back.
why should the GM be fired? Because I'm like, you did bring Russ to help. It ain't the GM's fault that Jamal
Yes, it
Murray.
is. Save you from yourself. Denver's GM. outside of Dallas. It's the cheeks of assness. So no, he didn't do a damn thing when he had a chance. All these bad contracts, bro. There should be no reason that your all-star, your superstar center, you pretty much cost him MVP, by the way. Your superstar center is averaging a 30-point triple double. That's never been done by a center before. He's been averaging the last 4 or 5 games, and they're on a losing streak. Damn near a 40-point triple double. They lost every single one of those games. And it wasn't on Jokic. It's on, and the second his feet touches the bench, they down by 10. So no, that roster is horrible. Russ was okay addition, but no, he wasn't gonna put you over the top. And I love Russ, but no, like y'all
How
need more.
how
I'm
many games
sorry.
did Jamal Murray miss?
That even when he's came back, they haven't been elite. Like Murray ain't you living in the past. Like Murray ain't what he used to be. Like he has
The
some good
problem is
flashes
when
here and there,
Murray's
but
healthy, he is a problem.
that's a if. At this point, it's a like is he's only been healthy for what 2 playoff runs his whole time. So yeah, and you paying him you gave him another max, even though he can't stay healthy. You still got Porter. He's playing better, but he's still on a big contract. Like y'all in the second apron of the salary cap. I can't do nothing. Like Jokic needs help. He doesn't have help.
They're still the 4 seed right now, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're not a championship contender. If that was the case, they wouldn't have fired everybody.
I mean, the question right now in the Western Conference legitimately is, can you beat OKC 4 times in 2 weeks?
Some teams can, but now, no. You don't even have your head coach.
No, I'm about to say even before that, like you could argue as long as Jokic is on the floor, you can argue, yo, you got a chance against anybody.
You do have a chance, but Jokic, as we seen, Jokic can put up godly numbers and they still lose. We just saw it the last 4 games. He's put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers and they still lost. And it wasn't even like they lost to OKC or a great team. They lost the ass teams. And he putting up numbers. Putting up at what, 60-point triple double a while ago
which is
against
which
DC,
is
still lost.
like
Doing
a
it with
60-point
Chicago,
triple.
still lost. So like, yeah, he's putting up the numbers, but they still lose because he has to play every minute. Because if he doesn't, they can't do shit without him. That's with Murray, with everyone. So yeah, that roster was horribly constructed, my guy.
But I'm just like, damn, you ain't gonna let him coach the playoff run? Like, so he,
That's
I
crazy.
mean, as a Laker fan, I'm not mad. That means for sure the only two problems in the Western Conference is Houston and Denver. I mean,
Mm,
Houston and OKC.
no, Golden State still a threat. Um,
I'm gonna go no.
yeah,
Like,
yes,
can they? I'm talking about teams that I'm worried about the Lakers might not be able to beat. I'm not worried about beating the Golden. I'm not worried about beating Golden State.
I am. I am. I'm worried about every team in the West outside of probably Memphis. That's it.
Well, yeah, Ja too busy trying to be thug. So, thank you very much.
But every other team, the Wolves can beat us. OKC, of
Oh
course.
no, 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 no.
Yes, they can.
I'm
We
not.
don't have a big like the problem with our team. If Luke, I'm sorry, even though I know Luca had a good game last, but Luca doesn't look like the Luca of last year. So if
He's been
Luca's not
hurt.
going to be the Luca of last year, and he's took a step back due to injuries or whatever, and we
You
have
saw
no
what he just did to
big,
OKC, right?
huh?
You saw what he just did to OKC, right?
That's why I say he had a good last game, but that hasn't been him since he's been here. So yeah, realistically, in the playoff setting, we don't have a front court at all. And most teams in the West have good bigs, even the Clippers. Like most of the good teams have bigs.
The
We
Clippers,
don't
the
have
Clippers actually kind of scare me.
the Clippers are scary. Yep, they if especially if Kawhi stays healthy, which because I don't know if you noticed that boy look like Kawhi again.
Yeah,
So
and Zuba, yeah.
Harden
If
is still hard. So if they're healthy, if Kawhi is like I said, the X factors I think is the Clippers this year. If Kawhi stays healthy, realistically, I think they can make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Poor Paul George. poor, poor Paul George, yo.
Nah, he did to himself. I can't, man. I don't even feel sorry for him.
Like
But
Philly's on a 12-game losing streak right now.
he got a $200 million contract. He's straight. Um, so yeah, the West is loaded. It's
It
going to
is.
be a
It's,
bloodbath.
it
And
is.
honestly, hot take, I would not be shocked if OKC doesn't get out of the West.
Ow. Like that is our take. Because
They
the
should.
talent level. Now I'll put it like this. This might be a hot take. SGA is cool. I honestly think Jokic should win the MVP this year.
That's not really a hot take because I agree with you. But
Uh,
but I also think I think they both deserve it. I just think Jokic deserves it a little more. So I'm not mad that SGA is going to win this because they're both having a historical season. Like
I'm just looking at value. Like, look, the reality situation is that OKC team is loaded.
it is.
If you took SGA away from that team, they're still a 40 win, 45 win team.
Yeah, but with him on it, they're damn near a 71 team.
Yeah,
That's the
but if
point.
you take Joker off of Denver, that team wins 30 games, maybe.
I got you. But
But
they both putting up numbers and they both helping their team. So it's like I'm not mad if Shea wins. This is one of them years where it's super close to me. But
I
I
mean,
would
I
I
don't,
would
I
give it to
don't
Jokic because a 30-point triple double from a center, I ain't never seen that before. So
a
but
60-point triple double from a center. Like, are you serious right now?
he putting
When
up
we
with
start saying the only name above yours is Wilt,
pretty
that's the
much.
answer.
Like I said, I would give it to Jokic, but I'm not mad if SGA wins it. I'm not mad. They both deserve it.
I, I just it's just one of those, just another one of those. They got it wrong. It's not when they didn't give LeBron that one MVP, when they also didn't give LeBron that Defensive Player of the Year,
I mean,
and
it happens. Voter fatigue, all that. The
hmm,
narratives. It happens. George should have more MVPs. LeBron should have more MVPs. Kobe should have probably at least one or two more. It happens.
and speaking of fatigue, I'm so happy that we are finally moved beyond the Stephen A. LeBron beef. Like, oh God, that ate up like 2 weeks of life.
Only one person dragging it.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Bro, you went on Pat McAfee and spent a good half hour just going off.
Because because Stephen A. responded and LeBron set the shit straight and then stopped talking about it. And who went on a press tour? Is it a, is it ESPN tour or your tour?
I cannot.
Your girl tour or your world tour? But yeah,
But yeah, that's I'm gonna do it like college, Final Four. I gotta see how the seedings go, but in the East it's easy. It's gonna be Cleveland and Boston in the East in the Eastern Conference Final. West, you gotta see how the seedings go. And trying to think if LA can avoid having to play Houston early, life is good. I don't know if that's possible. That's the thing that scares me. Like Houston worries me more than OKC, quite honestly. So definitely putting OKC in the Western Conference Final. Um, and I want, so in the East, Boston, Cleveland, which is going to be an interesting series, unless Porzingis is healthy. Because honestly, I'm not taking anything away from Cleveland, but if Porzingis is healthy, that Boston team is too loaded. And then in the West, of course, I got OKC, and I'm thinking I want to go LA. I know they're looking better, but I can't. Oh, Lakers, that is. I know they look better, but I just can't trust the Clippers. I can't trust the Clippers. Cannot trust the Clippers. And Houston is just young enough and talented enough to say, F it. We don't know what we don't know. We just gonna ball out. So yeah, I gotta see the seedings, but if the Lakers can, you know, get to the West, well, I don't know if they I think you gotta play Houston at some point. So I'm gonna trust the Lakers. And in LeBron we trust. OKC Lakers, Boston, Cleveland. What you got, man?
Probably Boston, Cleveland, the East, but dark horse Indiana might be able to make it back. Um, the West, um, still got OKC, and I don't know who's gonna be. I don't know. It could be Golden State. Well, actually, I don't know. Well, yeah, it depends on the season, but yeah, I don't know. Could be any LA team. Could be Golden State. Could be maybe. I don't have faith in Houston to make it that far. But I guess it depends on matchup. So I don't know. I don't know who's meeting OKC. I don't know.
Bold takes. It's not going to surprise me if Golden State does not get out the first round.
So I wasn't surprised with that either. But that's how loaded the West is. It depends on who they play. That's why these last couple games is important to see where everybody stacks up at.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, running back recap, take it from the top. I'm hoping next week will be the week, but today is not the week. More White House fuckery. You can't deport Americans. It's un-American. No, seriously, just the fact that that was even uttered. Like y'all special brand of goofy. Y'all are a special brand of goofy. Um, Shout out to the protesters. I'm glad you're taking to the streets. I get it as I was thinking about it. It's not about really trying to send a message to the White House. It's letting Congress know, hey, get on board or you're just gonna get on. In 2 years, when it's time to vote your asses out, easy vote. See you later. Brother Farrakhan, I hear you, but no. I hear you, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but I can't ride you on this one. Um, for once, shout out to the Apple Cult. Well played, well played. Shout out to the Apple Cult. On a serious note, Carmelo Anthony, um, I hope the truth in all of this comes out because right now, what is being painted is Donald Glover voice. This is America. So I hope the truth comes out. And if the truth comes out that this was literally premeditated murder, that's a problem. You gotta pay the piper on that. But it's a lot of things to suggest that ain't just cut and dry as it is. Um, okay, so we've got dire wolf cubs. Let's not get carried away. Let's let's not create Serpentor. Okay, we don't need Napoleon and Genghis Khan and everybody else's DNA to make some super leader. We're cool. We don't. We good. We good. Like let's not go create bringing shit back. That's going and definitely don't go unthawing viruses from permafrost. Keep it in animals. Keep it in animals. Worst case scenario, I can shoot a T-Rex. Virus, not so much. Just saying. Just saying. T-Rex or not, 50 cal. That's gonna even some things out. That's gonna even some things out. Um, Duke lost. That sucks. And can't wait to see how Dawn reloads. Paige Buckets got hers on her way out the door. And yeah, that just grimy getting fired before the playoffs. Like, no, we need you for the playoff run. You cool. You cool. Your recap, sir.
Yeah, White House doing White House things, supporting people, amazing. Um, Protests, it's all good and dandy, but it's just all for show at this point. We gotta do something. If you want something to really happen, you gotta hit bodies. That's the only way now. Brother Minister Farrakhan, that's it. On the surface, it sounds great, but once the details and the context is involved, then no, he's not for us. Like I said, not even a little bit. Apple on a Pablo tip, good for y'all. Like I said, I agree with you. That might not even be necessary because people won't sell their arm and leg just to get it anyway. So yeah, that's what you really are like Pablo. You got some beams. New shit. Hey, that's gangster. It's messed up, but it's gangster. Carmelo Anthony. I ain't talking about the Nick. Shout out to the real other Carmelo Anthony making the Hall of Fame. Sidebar, but there's a serious note. Yeah, I agree with you. I just want the truth to come out before I make a real judgment because it's real sloppy on both sides, and I don't know what's the actual truth. So hopefully we get it. The direwolf coming back. We'll have some frost giants too. Maybe a dragon. Yeah, bring back a dragon if it ever existed.
And and see that will kill us. That will kill
Oh, what's the 50 cal now? That ain't gonna work. Oh, a T Rex? Nah, 50 cal. That's the easy work. But a dragon, oh, that's too much. uh, uh, college. Yeah, shout out to Page Buckets. Got one on the way out. Duke choke. NBA coaches getting fired. Not on your day off, but it might as well be.
us.
I'm trying to prepare for the playoffs. Like, yeah, my key card not working. What's wrong with
Yeah.
this? Hey, I wasn't trying to do this, but hey, come to my office. What you mean, man? I got playoff games to get prepared for, man. We got a couple games that we got to finish on a good note. Yeah, we will finish on a good note, but yeah, no one need your services. All right. And the playoffs, I can't predict it. Outside the East is kind of predictable, but the West, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Like I said, it's not gonna surprise me if Golden State doesn't make it the first round. No, sorry about that playoff, Jimmy and them, but
It wouldn't. I agree. I don't know. I gotta
yeah,
see
we
what the
got
matchups are.
Brian. I see that because I do not. People are saying I do not want to see a Golden State Lakers matchup in the first round. I do not want to see that.
It would be a great series, but I would like
I
that
don't,
second
not in
round.
the first round. Right, like second. I don't want to see it in the first
But
round.
then again,
Second.
every matchup in the West, the first round is going to be crazy outside of probably whoever OKC plays, unless it's the Wolves. If the Wolves somehow get the eighth seed, then that'll still be a great series.
That would be. No, that is a matchup I want to see.
But
Ant
OKC,
Man versus SG. Yeah, that I'd love to see that.
it could happen.
Oh,
I don't know if it will, but it could.
yeah, I gotta look. We'll be back here next week to talk about the developments to see how this all goes out. But as always, this is awesome. On behalf of myself, my amazing co-host, the Yeah I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah,